Hi there, hop in. I'll show you guys how we build stuff on the Sandhill Central. And when we're all done, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Alright, before I get started today, I'm going to show you guys my spike pattern, plates, and ballast. So, here on the railway, spike pattern. If we're on the field side, I spike to the left. If we're on the gauge side, spike to the left. There's the other rail. Gauge side, field side. 4-hole plate. So if we spike to the left on the field side here, spike to the left on the gauge side, we go across the tie. Spike here to the left, field side, spike to the left. Notice the spike here is not straight across from the spike here. I do that simply because I don't like my spikes straight across from each other, and a lot of my machines have a work head only on one side or the other side doesn't work. So when you flip the machine, your pattern never changes. Some railroads do outside west, inside east. That's fine. Some railroads run north and south. Some run west and east. If they get panels trucked in from different companies, manufacturers, their spike pattern can be different. Or if the loader operator installs the panel backwards, it messes up your spike pattern. I just simply do, if you're looking at the rail, spike to the left. If you're spiking over the rail, just picture it as if you were looking at it spiking to the left, or just go across the other way on the other one. Pretty simple there. I'll go over some plates. Reason why I do plates, I wasn't going to do it. They're $2 a piece or $4 a tie, so not too big of an expense. This is an old no shoulder. This is a single shoulder. This is a no shoulder. Sam threw this in the load when we were at the junkyard. I've never seen one like this. This is pretty old. These were some of the first plates that came across. You picture now the rail being on here. If we were actually running trains, it would cut into the tie. You gain a lot more surface area with this plate. You don't want plate cut. Plate cut is where this plate with the weight of the train will actually cut into the tie. You get high spikes. They're a pain to change. High spikes can lead to wide gauge. You get canting. Not good. Most of our railway here is single shoulder. This single shoulder goes on the field side or the outside. So we're going to install it like this. Now, that 8-hole double shoulder, that's going to come in handy where we have this towed bar. I'm not a fan of towed bars, but you can see here with the single shoulder, we can't get that spike in there. So if we use a double shoulder, we now can get the outside spike in, and that works handy for towed bars. Toeless bars, we can use these. These are super handy. They're hard to get, but most of this railway is towed bars. Next, I'll talk about ballast. This is washed, if you want to call it river rock, from down the road. They use this for their cement. I can get it for about $4 a yard, so it costs about $2 a foot to ballast this track. I will ballast once all the ties are inserted. I've got a few comments on I need to install more ties. We're going to install a tie in between every tie to make it 2 foot on center. This track or spur we're on now, I'm going to leave 4 feet on center. This is just going to be locked out for maintenance away equipment. But the loop, we're going to put ties 2 feet on center. We don't have the extreme weight like a railroad. Max speed is going to be 5 miles an hour probably for trains and locomotives, and 10 miles an hour for maintenance away. and we're using pretty big ties, so I don't see the need to go 18 or 20 inches on center. I think 24 inches on center will be good enough. So yeah, once the ties are inserted and phase 1 will be done, we'll talk about phase 2 and phase 3 later. That'll be installing a diamond and installing another loop and a transfer track to make a figure 8. But we'll talk about that another day. But once the tires are done with phase 1 and the loop is complete and we have all the tires inserted, like I said, we'll go put this rock, river rock in. Ideally you would want crushed rock. Crushed rock will help lock into the ties and keep the ties from moving, to help avoid sun kinks or tie movement. Now with phase 1, we have a perfect circle. I'm not too worried about the track moving. It's going to self-center and move around a little bit to make a perfect circle. The crossings and switches it might struggle through, but over time it'll self-circle. So I really don't need to encourage it to lock in. I know it kind of sounds crazy, but I'm just going to use this. This is a lot cheaper, a lot easier to walk on. We're currently mowing right now. That's where this green slime comes in on top of the rail. Vegetation sucks. It gets too tall. You can see it touches the rail. It almost forms like a grease on the rail, which it is a pain to move maintenance away equipment or the motor car. You spin out. It gets to be a pain. So we're mowing right now, but once we do all ballast and the ties, these weeds pull out pretty easy. That's when we'll start weed spraying. Yeah. So other than that, spike pattern, why we use plates, helps with the surface area and helps hold the rail from canting. And in a sense, 2 spikes with 1 plate can help hold the rail versus 2 spikes and no plate. And ballast, we'll get to that another day. If you'd like to climb aboard and help us build the railway, don't forget to spike down that like button for more episodes.